Do you ever feel that quitting alcohol and drugs is just made it into this like really complex thing where like you have to go to AA meetings because you're an alcoholic, or even worse, everything you've tried in the past just doesn't work, so then you have to go to an expensive rehab clinic that potentially doesn't work? And the reason I'm saying that is because I've got one friend who went to AA meetings. I actually went with him like years ago. I think I was about 27 or 26. I'm 35 now and I quit alcohol at 30. And I remember he was like, "Do you want to come to one of these meetings with me?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't know." Like, because I was well into my cocaine, well into my drugs, well into my drinking. And I was just like, I'm having so much fun taking drugs and partying. And I don't, why do I want to go to AA meetings? So I was like, okay, I'll go with you, because I used to kickbox then. So we turn up to this meeting. We went in my car, had like a Audi S3. It was like lowered, really nice car. And he's like, "Can you pick my mate up?" So he picked his mate up, who was like a drug dealer, like from a really rough area. And I remember, so like the three of us went to this meeting and never been before. I was like, I feel kind of like icky and grubby going to this meeting because I don't really think I've got a problem. I still personally don't think that I've got a problem with alcohol or drugs. I just think that they are such a distraction, that they are addictive and they do cause you problems, but I don't look at it as if like, oh, I'm sober, I had a problem with drugs. But anyway, back to the story. So we turn up to this meeting, this 12 steps meeting, and I just remember just sitting there and we're all around this table, and then they start like reading these cards or like this like religious shit, and I'm just like, and it's like, "Thank you for helping me, blah, 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 blah." And then like each person stands up and they're like, "Hi, my name's Jay, alcoholic. I remember back in the day where I used to take loads of drugs, and I remember I just used to be like on the phone to sex line, hiding in a bush." I was just like sitting there thinking, oh my God, like this is crazy. And all these people had these mad stories, and I was just thinking like, okay, I understand, like it's like a community. So like the best thing you could probably do is like, if you've got a problem, you want to be around other people with the same problem so you can solve that problem. But these meetings, I'm not having to go at 12 steps or rehab or anything like that, but it's like, it kind of like, it cons you into like going, because you're like, right, okay, so I had a problem. I'm calling myself an alcoholic or a drug addict, which isn't really a thing. It's a disease which you can never be cured from, and only you can decide that you are an alcoholic. So I'm going to this place. This place has now solved my problem, but if I don't keep going to these meetings, it's likely that I'll have what they call a relapse, and then I'll be back to square one because I've got this disease which is never going to be cured. So I'm always going to have to keep going to these meetings, otherwise I won't be able to stop doing drugs or drinking. And now I've just got a friend who's been to rehab twice. I think rehab's pretty expensive from what I've heard. And like, we grew up together. We used to go out like drinking, partying, taking drugs. And we had another friend as well who's actually died like 2 years ago because he was drinking for like 15, 16 years. And apparently he knew that he was dying, but he was too afraid to get help because he was so bad, and then he got found dead. And then it was me who decided to quit alcohol and drugs 5 years ago. And, I think I was just as bad as them. I don't think I was any less worse. I mean, I would literally just go out and I would just go off the rails. Like, I'd go out, I'd start drinking, I'd literally spend all my money, I'd stay out as long as I possibly could until I had to go back home and then sleep. But I just consider myself just as bad as them. But there's just something, I think, if you really value your life, and this comes down to having a big vision. Like, I always saw myself as being successful. Like, I always thought, I don't know how, man, because I've been working as an electrician, and it's a good paid job, but it was never really gonna like buy me a Ferrari. But I always knew that I was just gonna be successful and have loads of money and just like be the man and be in good shape. And kind of got to 30 and I was like, well, I'm not in bad shape. I'm not a bad looking guy, but I don't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. And then it got me thinking. I was like, what am I gonna do? Like, I'm 30 now, and like, yeah, like time is flying by. Like, I was 20 not long ago, going out carefree, thinking I was gonna be rich by 30. My actual goal by 30 was to have £10,000 in the bank. That was my goal. That's how small-minded I was thinking. But I had that awakening, and then one weekend I was on a bender with this Irish lad, and we were like watching UFC, and we were doing coke, and we'd been drinking like 3 days in a row. This was a Sunday, and I remember just sitting there, and he had a gram of cocaine, and he was like racking it up, and we were like watching Masvidal and Usman. I hope my mother's not watching this. We were watching Masvidal and Usman in the UFC, and I just remember he was like racking his lines up, and like we were drinking like Jack Daniels and coke, and like I had a line, and then it wasn't enough, and then I was just having that. I just needed more, and I was there, and I had so much anxiety, and I was just like, I need to do more. Nothing's enough. And then all of a sudden, just something clicked in my mind. I went, I can't do this anymore. I was like, I literally cannot do this. I said to him, I'm done drinking, taking drugs. And he just looked at me like, yeah, I've heard that before. And something switched in my mind that day, and I stopped. I stopped everything for 10 weeks. And then I went back out with some friends who drank in places that we'd normally go drinking, and I ended up drinking and doing cocaine till like 5 a.m. in the morning. And then after that, I was like, right, I felt so good these 10 weeks being off it. This has just made me feel absolutely awful. And I was like, that's it. So 5 years later, I don't even think about drinking, don't even think about taking drugs. Like, it's just completely out of my mind. If you've known me since the age of 16, like taking pills, taking cocaine, drinking, chain smoking cigarettes, been arrested like 8-9 times, been to prison twice for fighting, on nights out, drinking alcohol, done everything bad drinking, like you would just think there's no hope for me. And yeah, I just stopped like that. So this all comes down just to purpose. Like, I think you either, if you're watching this now, I'm talking to you because number one, you probably want to stop drinking because you wouldn't be searching for this video, and you've seen me before, so you might have subscribed. If you haven't, please subscribe. I would appreciate it. But you're a driven individual, and you know you can and be more in life, but you just can't get rid of this habit. I don't call it addiction. I don't call it being an alcoholic. I call it a bad habit. You're stuck in this cycle of just going out, doing the same shit every week, and taking drugs, drinking, whatever. Cocaine, alcohol, they go hand in hand. Like, it's the same. So yeah, I think you just need to have a vision for the future. You need to have a pain point. Maybe you are successful now. You might have built a business, or you have like a really good job, or you've got a lot of money in the bank and you're comfortable, and you've taken your foot off the gas, so you just go out and you want to get your high that way. For me, it's like I am building myself up. Like, I want to be really successful, so there's no room for drugs or alcohol in my life. Almost getting to that place I want to be. Maybe when I get there, I might feel like, whoa, I'm lost now. I need that excitement back. Maybe I need to go back and take drink and drugs. So then that's where you need to be guided onto the next thing. But this takes deep introspection. You need to really think, why am I doing this? Why am I doing coke? Why am I drinking? Why am I self-sabotaging? What can I focus on to stop me doing this? So I literally don't have the time to waste going out doing it and recovering from it. So yeah, I built a full course, how to get sober. It's not called that. It's the best time is to get sober is now. It's 22 video modules long. I was going to sell it, but it's free. It's broken up into 7 days. Quitting alcohol and cocaine, or both, is basically the easiest thing you can do. Like, stopping is easy. Like, I stopped for 10 weeks and then went back. People get lost because they struggle with, like, filling the void. They're like, right, okay, so I've stopped. What am I going to do on the weekend? Like, my friends are doing that. Maybe my girlfriend's doing that. But I can't do it. And then they just, like, get stuck. I had it for like 6 months, maybe a year. Even now it's the weekend and I'm sat here on my own in my condo talking to you on camera, because maybe if I was a drinker I would be out drinking, but I'm not, so I'm in making a YouTube video. It's just part and parcel. Like, I think, you know, you are gonna have that lonely period in your life. It's called the lonely chapter, so I've been told by Chris Williamson, when you like don't fit in with your old friends and you don't fit in with the new people, so you're like in this like middle ground where it's lonely. It gets lonely in the middle. But yeah, you have to deal with being on your own. I love being on my own. Like, I can just spend all weekend on my own, like making videos, going to the gym, like working on myself. But that's where a lot of guys struggle. So I made a video course. I've launched the hybrid sobriety program. So it's not just stopping you quit alcohol. It's basically like rebuilding your whole identity. So when you quit alcohol, you'll need to associate yourself as a non-drinker or drug user. So you need to create this new routine, this new life, this new identity. And that's where a lot of people struggle. So a lot of guys, they offer like just help with addiction or whatever. Like they help you see what alcohol is as poison, and they make you not want to drink it. But you need to rebuild your whole life. I am someone who's come from the depths of hell, who has quit his job last year after 10 years and taken a massive risk in building this business to help and serve other people. I know it sounds a bit gay, but it's true. Like, I actually believe in it. If I didn't quit alcohol and cocaine, I would literally be stuck in my day job, covered in concrete on a building site. But now I'm doing this, and I believe in it. So yeah, you need help building a new identity, and you need to be guided through the lonely times. So yeah, I just want to make this video, just to let you know. And if you do want help, you can reach out to me and book a free one-to-one consultation call. And you can also check out my course and stopping alcohol cravings in their tracks. You can watch this video here. That'll help you. No craving, no problem. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.